My name is Annalisa Spaeth, and I am the Huntingdon College Canvas admin, and I have been working on this project with a lot of other faculty members to bring some pretty exciting stuff to Huntingdon College's Evening Studies program. To get to our Canvas instance, you want to navigate to huntingdon.instructor.com. When you do that, if you have not already been logged into your Huntingdon College email account, it will bring up actually a Google window where you should enter your Huntingdon College email address and then password. Then you should be signed in and able to get to this site just fine. Let me orient you a little bit to the home page and some useful things on it. First of all, notice on this dashboard, you will see one or more courses here that you have been enrolled in as an instructor. And you'll also see a little to-do list here, and if there's anything that's coming up in the next week or so, it will show up over here. And your to-do list will tell you things like, oh, you didn't grade the week 1 discussion, you probably need to do that, which is kind of helpful. Other than that, you can also navigate to your account. Here you can log out, or you can access your profile. You can edit your profile by clicking over here and add a picture if you'd like, if you're fancy, by clicking here, and help the students to get to know you a little bit. You can add files for your entire account, so these might be things that you would want to access to send out in subsequent semesters for your students. You can also change your notification settings. I would suggest that you warn your students not to disable any of these notifications because they might miss important announcements from you. But you may want to change some of these as you start to see which emails you're receiving that are annoying or more that you want. Okay. Also, students might email you from this Canvas messaging platform. I prefer communicating directly with individual students through my email account so that I have all my messages in one place. But just so you're aware, they might message you here. And if you have other courses that you want to see that you might have been enrolled in previous semesters, and you don't see them in this list right here or on your dashboard, you could click on all courses and they might show up there. Let's go back to the dashboard and see the good stuff. Let's go into this class right here. You can see that the home page, and this should be true for all of the evening studies courses, is actually the syllabus containing standard information. There may be also a class schedule if the creator hasn't chosen to put that here. But one of the cool things about Canvas is that every syllabus page has an automatically created course calendar complete with due dates and links to the actual assignments or information that's due. Students can see this as well. On this home page, you can also see the calendar, and you can see some little gray squares here where there are things that are due in that class. You can see the assignments being weighted by group here, the grade breakdown. And you can see we have set these up to show 3 recent announcements at the top of the syllabus so that students will see those things right when they log into the class. Since I've mentioned assignments, I want to show you that you can navigate to any of these grayed out links over here. The students will only see the dark black links. So assignments, so that you know as the instructor which assignments are in which group, you can navigate to this page and see exactly the weight and each assignment and what it's worth all right here. Okay, let's go look at the modules. Modules are the general way that students should really access the course content. So if you can encourage them to navigate there to see what they ought to be doing, that would be really awesome. In general, the content creators have tried to put things mostly in a weekly structure. Some courses are exceptions, but for the most part, the format is fairly similar. Not all classes have the exact same kinds of content, but this class happens to have a page where students are told what to read for week 1, And they can either go back to the modules or they can click next and keep continuing to the next assignment in that order on the modules themselves. As you can see, we have come to a discussion, and it looks like this fake student has actually replied here. You could either reply to them, start a new thread and reply in general, look at unread entries, search for other entries, etc. Or, since this is a graded discussion, you can go up here and click and start to see one of my favorite pieces of Canvas that saves me so much time, and they've even trademarked it, Speed Grader. And it is not just a gimmick, trust me. So here, we can navigate through the different students one by one, clicking these arrows, or if there were a bunch of students, you could click a drop-down menu and go to an individual student there. In this discussion, there's nothing particularly exciting about how you would grade this, other than enter an assignment grade right here. You could add a comment, upload a response file, or even actually take a video of yourself to say something to the student. Just remember, if you put a comment here, you need to click submit on the comment. That has bitten me a few times in the past. You might actually think, oh man, I've gotten stuck in here. Well, it took me a while to figure out. You just click on the assignment up here at the top, and that will take you back to the assignment and out of there. Let's look back at the modules again. Here is an in-class quiz, which again, you could grade with Speed Grader, or I'll show you later an easier way for in-class assignments to enter the grades that's a lot faster. Let's go back to the modules, and let's look at this week 2 writing assignment and see if we can grade that. You can see this actually has a rubric attached. If we have attached a rubric, we would kindly ask that you go ahead and use that to help you grade. We may be collecting some assessment data from these rubrics going forward, so it's particularly important that you grade using these things for those types of assignments. Let's go ahead and go to Speed Grader. And we can see for this assignment that there's actually been a submission. It's kind of a silly submission. It's just some PDF I had on my computer of Canvas that the fake student uploaded. And let's look at the ways we can interact with the student in this. We can actually go in here and create a comment bubble anywhere in the document. We can highlight if we want, and then actually add a comment to our indication in their text. We can add a text box if we wish and type things in it, and it will just get bigger as it needs to. We can strike through text if we wish and add a comment to our strike through. And if you have a tablet, this may be a really cool feature for you. It's cool even on a computer, but you can write things, circle things with different colors and different sizes, and even add a comment to what you've circled quickly there. All of these things are really helpful to me in general. And you can jump to different pages right here, or go to a specific page number right there at the top. And they're improving things all the time, so some of these features actually I didn't even see last academic year when I last used this. Again, you can use those same comments, general assignment comments. You can also enter a grade here, but if there's a rubric, you should really go ahead and use that. Rubrics are pretty awesome. Let's see if I can figure out how to pull this over here. All you have to do is go ahead and go in and click the squares. Notice that it is totaling points. If someone has chosen the settings correctly, or they wanted to choose the settings this way, when you save the rubric, it will actually total the points for you. I think maybe I did not choose that correctly because I might have manually entered this when I was doing another sample, but it will total at the bottom of the rubric regardless of whether it is automatic or not. And if you go back to the rubric again, notice that you can actually put a comment on any single line in the way that I have this sample rubric set up. Rubric grading has been really great for me, and I hope that if you have those in your class, you will enjoy how quick that is to use as well. And of course, you can also download an individual submission here. So don't forget, let's go back using this link here to the assignment and get out of this. That's pretty much that for SpeedGrader. There aren't any quizzes in this particular class. If you do have a Canvas quiz itself in your class, then you can click on that and explore ways that you can look at the grading, but those should, for the most part, be automatically graded unless they have some sort of an essay submission or something that you would need to grade. If you have any questions about that, you can contact me, or I will provide information to an instructor's guide published by Canvas that's kept up to date as they update. All right, let's look next at another way to grade other than SpeedGrader that you might want to use for in-class assignments and things like that. So when I clicked on grades for this course, if there were more than one student, you could sort them ascending and descending, and you can actually use this basically like a spreadsheet. So you can enter a grade here. The cool thing is you can pop this open, add a comment right there, and you can actually even go back to SpeedGrader and add assignment comments there directly from that if you wish. I believe the comment that you add goes to the student as a note. So let's go ahead and go back to grades. One more thing I would like to show you is that all the way over at the right, you should have some grayed out items. Those are not editable. Those are the totals from the weighted grading that we have done right here. Let's click on this student. There are a couple of ways to get to the student. One is through your gradebook right here, and you can see some activity compared to class, some recently graded items, their overall grade, missing and late, a way to message them if you want to use the Canvas Messenger, and then grades and analytics. Before I go on, let's go back to the class and show you another way you can get to that. That's through the people link. That should show you all of your students in case you don't want to have to go to the gradebook to do that, and you can get to that same place. Let's look at one single student's grades page. This is pretty similar to what the students would see. You can see their score on everything, and there are a couple of options. One is to calculate their grade based only on assignments that have been graded so far. The other is to say, okay, what if they didn't do anything else in the class for the remainder of the term? Students can view those two options as well. This class has kind of wonky totals because I have put in a fake rubric for you guys for demonstration purposes. The one thing the student has that you don't, they have this awesome feature called What If with their grades, where they can see what their grade would be if they earned a certain score on a certain assignment, which really limits questions about what grade they need on certain things to get a grade in the class. Another thing, if we go back to people and click on this student, and then click on analytics, we can get some really awesome information about the student. If they had page views, they would show up here. You could see when they had viewed which pages. You could see a history of communication, when they've submitted stuff, whether it's on time or not, a timeline here. And if there were more than one student in this class, it would show a box and whisker plot here to show where they fall as far as median goes in the class itself, and warnings when they're not doing well. You can also view a more numerical view of some of these things, see exactly when they submitted everything right here for more information, which is pretty helpful. And I believe if we had more than one student, you could go through all the students by clicking forward right here. Let's look at a couple more things in this class. Something really useful, you can see a sample announcement at the top of this page. you can go ahead and make announcements to the students. If you have more than one section of the same course, you can choose which sections you're posting to. Right down here. Here there's only one section, so that's the same as all sections, but you would have that option. You can type a message. You can make a link to a YouTube. If you had a file in your class that you wanted to put in here, you could upload a file and then you could link to a file or any page in this class you want by simply highlighting a word and clicking on some content from the class, or a file if you had one here, highlight over here, click on the file you want to link to for them. Then you can post, and you can delay the posting to a certain time and day. You can allow people to comment, allow them to like, etc. So there are a lot of options with the posts that you make. And then the most recent announcements, the 3 most recent ones will show up at the top of your page right here. I know I mentioned it before, but files, you have files for your account that I showed you at the beginning of this video up in here, and then you have files for the class itself. You can drag and drop or upload files right here. You can add folders just like a normal computer, and then you can go in and look at that folder. You can go back and then delete that folder or download or rename, etc. Just like normal. Some of the module creators have put a nice little instruction file in there for you. So I would go ahead and check the files section of your class when you log in to see if they've left you any nice notes. Now, I kind of have saved the best thing for last in some people's opinions, and that is the calendar itself. Let's go over here, and this is a calendar for all of your Canvas classes at once. The way you control which classes you're seeing is by unclicking or clicking the corresponding colored box here in Calendars. And the coolest thing is, let's say I have really messed up and I've put all your assignments due on a Tuesday, but your class this fall is on a Thursday. Well, if you wanted all those assignments to be due on a Thursday, all you have to do is drag them for the students and move them to a different day. Let's go ahead and look at another way you could edit that. You could change the due date and time right here in this box, which is probably the easiest way to do that in case it's the wrong time of day as well. I hope that you guys will find Canvas to be as intuitive and useful as I have for my classes. I kind of dove in head first and got started using it in an online class that I taught, which was my first actual online class a while ago, and it was pretty easy to set up in a short amount of time, so I think you guys will really enjoy it. One more thing I forgot, the help menu right here. It shows phone numbers for 24/7 support, chat, and phone. For students and faculty, there are separate numbers and separate links for students and faculty. Please use that. They have been awesome for our faculty members in answering questions with no wait times. Really friendly, really not intimidating, and super nice people. If for some reason those people can't answer your question, they will generally refer your case to me, the Huntingdon administrator, but if you need it, then you could click this and it'll pop up an email to me as well.